What's going on, everyone? It's Andrew here, back with Car Mechanic Simulator 2021. What we are working on today is something I don't think we've built yet. I don't think we have, but we're going to today. It's nothing, to most people it's nothing special, but to me it holds a sentimental value. No, this isn't it. This is going to be a future project later on. I know it's been a minute since we've been on here, eh? So how's everyone doing? How's everyone, what's everyone been up to, Hope everyone's having a good morning, evening, day, night, wherever you're located around the globe. Alright, yeah, this is a Ram Yellow Sport 1500. I'm going to sort of turn this one into a demon truck, if I could. The only thing I won't be able to do is put the 6.2 in here, unfortunately, or the Hellcat motor. That'd be awesome if I could, but I don't think we're going to be able to. So what we're going to have to do is just deal with the 345 Hemi that's supposed to be in here. Anyway, inside the shop we go. Alright, what we're going to be working on today is nothing fancy, nothing special, a 1978 Chrysler Cordoba. Now, the reason why I say this holds sentimental value to me, not this specific car, but my childhood car that my dad owned when I was a wee lad was a 1981 Dodge Mirada with a 225 slant 6. Now, this is very similar. The front end's completely different. The rear end's very similar, except for not quite because it had the slat taillights. But overall, it's a pretty decent looking car. It has a 360 LA V8 in it. I'm not really, even though I grew up with Chryslers, I'm not really too familiar with what the LA V8 is. Maybe somebody who knows can drop it in the comments to let me know, because I really don't have a clue. But first things first, we're going to strip this down. We're going to get it all ready to rock and roll, put new parts on it. I have the block and the crank together in the engine room. Yeah. So we're just going to sit here and we're going to rip everything off. Get the body looking good, you know what I mean? Clean her up, clean her up. Alright, we're going to take off these U-bolts now. Get on out of here, U-bolt. You too, U-bolt. You're not wanted here no more. The shook. The little bushing. And get the other little bushing. Right there. Alright, come on, drop shaft. 2 bolts, that's all I needed. And it was ready to come off. Alright, that's there. We're going to get the little bushing on this side now. We're going to get the other little bushing on the other side. Let's jump on over. There we go. I still got to assemble the tires with the wheels. I got 2 left to do. One I believe is on the, yeah, it's on the tire machine there. I already have one balanced. That's because I wanted to make sure what I was choosing was going to actually work. Now, the thing is, with my dad's Mirada, and I say it's his, it wasn't mine, was he had original Mickey Thompson slot wheels from the 1970s on. Yeah, it was an 81. He originally had them on his 72 Javelin SST, which had the 390 in it, I believe, or whatever the motor was for that at the time. I think it was 390, similar to a Ford. I think. I'm not entirely sure. Don't hold me to it. That car was there before my time. He got the 81 Mirada in, I think it was 82, with like 10,000, well, up here in Canada we call it kilometers instead of miles. It had 10,000 kilometers on it, whatever that equates to in miles. I think it's like somewhere between 5,000 and 7,500 miles. I mean, the car was like brand new. It was a teacher that got it. He ended up getting a car, and it was too big for him, so the story goes. And he ended up trading it in for a smaller car. And my dad started working at the bus lines here for the city, for the transportation for us poor folk that couldn't afford a vehicle for many years. You know, we'd all catch the city buses. You know, and that's where my dad retired when my mom got sick. Rest her soul and his soul as well. But yeah, so that's how the story goes. And I mean, this was one of the most dependable vehicles I've ever seen in my lifetime. I mean, this car, without being plugged in, it would start in 50 below weather like nothing. Like nothing. For granted, the old man did plug it in because, well, it's a little less hard on the motor when you plug them in when it's that cold out. So, and that's the car that I was in an accident when I was a child. Drunk driver ran a red light, clipped T-bone the side of the car. My seatbelt broke. I flew across the back seat. I'm not going to say what else happened there, but there's a bunch of strange things that happened in that crash. I'm just going to leave it at that. Stuff I can't explain. Well, that's the reason why I'm not getting into it, because I have no answers for what happened. I wasn't told nothing. So, but anyway, we're going to make this kind of like a tribute to him. I'm even going to put his license plate on it and everything, so, if I can remember it. I have pictures of the car around here somewhere, but, yeah. And then after the Marauder was put in the garage, my dad ended up getting an 87 Dodge Dakota with a 2.2 liter 5-speed, you know, and that motor ended up taking a nosedive on him. So we ended up bringing the Marauder back out of storage, and the Dakota sat in the backyard for a little bit until he got his hands on a 1971 340 out of a Cuda. Now, supposedly, the story goes with that one is when he bought the motor, it was done 30,000 over. The old man put the motor together. Well, it was already together, but you know, he just went over, put it in the truck, tried cranking it. We tried for weeks to get that motor to start. It wouldn't start. The old man said, you know, something's not wrong here, or something's not right here. So he ended up taking the head off and realized that the guy stuck in the factory bore size piston for an overbore of 30 thou. It makes 0 sense to me. So because of that, it ended up scratching out the cylinder a little bit, so it ended up getting cleaned up, and it was done to 40 thousandths over with new pistons, piston rings, the whole 9 yards. And let me tell you, that truck flew. I mean, yeah. It didn't spin unless my dad deliberately did a burnout with it. That was it. Other than that, it was just hook and book gone. It's the only vehicle that's ever pinned me in the seat on launch. And I've been in quite a few fast cars. That's the only one that's ever pinned me. Sure, for granted I was a little guy at the time, but yeah. It was interesting, I'll tell you that much. It was one of a kind. It was long before Hot Rod ever put the V8 in their truck, and this is long before the Dakota ever came with a V8. My dad was the first one to officially do it. So, and then 3 years later, Hot Rod came out with a stroker Hemi in their newer style Dakota. And then I think it was 94, 95 when they started putting the 318s in them, I think. But yeah, my dad was the original one to do it, before anybody else did it. So I can legit state that anybody who puts a V8 into a Dakota that comes, you're copying that idea from my dad. Straight up. Including Chrysler, including anybody who swaps into a V8 into a Dakota. My dad was the original one. You never heard of that before. The only problem is because the truck came with a manual, the firewall was different, and he ended up having to put 3-inch body lifts on it to lift the body up 3 inches, so that way then he could put the 340 and with a transmission everybody says is junk, the 727, but most people don't realize. Put the shift kit in the 727, and it dang near turns it into a race transmission. I mean, he had no problems with it. It never blew, it never popped, and I mean, we rode that truck hard. Well, he did. I was in the passenger seat because I was too young to drive anyway. But, yeah, it was fun times. Fun times. But anyway, back to what we're doing. Right now we're building the Chrysler LA 360 V8 with all performance aftermarket parts in it, of course. Can't go stock, you know what I mean? That's no fun. That's why I said it's kind of a tribute to him. Now, if this car came with a 225 slant 6 and different parts for the front end and the rear end, well, then I can make it look just like his. But, come on, CMS-21, put it in a Dodge Mirada, Dodge Dakota, put in all that fun stuff. And allow me to Hellcat swap the Dakota. I would love that. That'd be awesome. Wish I could Hellcat swap the Dodge Rams in this. That'd be awesome. You know what I mean? Make it just like an SRT. Or even put able to put a Viper motor in it, because they did come factory with a Viper motor. The Dodge Rams, the 1500s, back in the day. They called that the SRT-10s. And that's one thing about Chrysler products, man. Some of them are pretty darn quick, I might have to state. And no, the block didn't come this color. I painted it that color. But that's okay. Alright, now we're going to put the spoke plugs in. Alright, last one for this side. Now we're going to put the exhaust manifold on the B side. Now we're going to put the push rods. That's 8 of them per side. And that's one thing I can give Chrysler credit for, is the way on how they do their rocker arms. It's not individually. I mean, you gotta probably adjust them individually, but they all come down on, it's almost like a rack. A rack of rockers is what we'll call it. See, look at that, just like that, shaft rockers. It's awesome. Alright, let's put the distributor in then. What? Oh no, we gotta go back to the paint shop. Ah, you Mr. Distributor Components. I knew I was forgetting to do something. Didn't forget to buy something. Well, I guess technically I did. But I knew I was forgetting to do something here, and that was paint the components. Alright, distributor cap, you are going right there. Make you look original-ish. And one thing about Chrysler is they didn't come up with the HEI distributor. That was GM. Alright, now we're going to run over here. We're going to finish building the distributor. Put the cap on. And we got to get some clip B's. You know, it's funny when the 360's got more head bolts than the Hemi. According to this anyway. I know it's inaccurate, but according to this it is. Heck, some 4-cylinders have more head bolts than the Hemi in this. You know what I mean? So, It is what it is, what it isn't. Okay, I did put camshaft in. I was like, how did them push rods get put in if I didn't put the camshaft in? But, nope, camshaft's in. You can see by the driver's side, they have it like that to clear the suspension. And also to go around the starter. For the exhaust manifold, that is. Alright, now we're going to build up the front side of the motor. I don't understand why they need a coil if they got an HEI distributor with a coil already in it. Kind of defeats the purpose, no? Double spark, extra power. Power. And this requires a separate water pump pulley than the rest of them. It's got its own Chrysler one, man. You know what I mean? Put the arm on. There we go. Put the alternator in. The I6B. There we go. I'm going to put the water pump pulley on. Put the crank pulley on. Beautiful. I'm going to put the idler B. Just like that. Belt. I think it's belt B. Yep. Just give me a second here, folks. Dog next door is going a little psycho. I don't know why. There's no reason to, but whatever. It is what it is, I guess. Alright, now we're going to put the intake on. Nice chrome deal. Looks like it's based out, except the Rochester. Or Quadradret, pardon me. But it's a carburetor B for the V8 Hemi. Then we're going to put the air filter base on. The air filter. We're going to put the plug wires. The fuel filter. There we go. Put the air filter lid. Alright, we got ourselves here, folks, a built 360 V8 for a Chrysler Cordoba. Alright, back to the car. Let's build the car now. But first things first, let's do this. I had to put my twist on it, you know what I mean? And when I was mentioning earlier about the Mickey Thompson, the actual Mickey Thompson wheels, is they were on 235 70, or no, yeah, 235 70 15s. Well, I decided to change it up just a bit, and I decided to go 60 15s because I like the profile look of a 60 series tire. You know what I mean? It just looks right. Especially when the tires are supposed to be a bit smaller, that way it also helps clear stuff. Now, I went with these style wheels because, like I was explaining, the slot mags, well, unfortunately, these are the closest I can find to it that aren't the Chevy ones. So, alright, we got that. We're going to come over here. We're going to put this together. Take it off there. Do this. Yeah, man. Alright, we're going to come over here. We're going to go electronics. We're going to go battery. And if I had to guess, and this is just a straight up guess, we need to start a V8. Alright, let's go ahead and put this car together. I did grab that wheel, right? Yeah, damn, man. Alright. Up and away you go, Chrysler Cordoba. Put the fuel tank in. We'll put the fuel pump. We'll put the rear exhaust. The rear muffler V8 1 carb OHVA. It requires 2 of them. And they finally did it right with this one where it goes up over the axle. So don't, you know, I know they can do it because they do it for certain cars. They're all supposed to be like that. Unless it's, you know, cut off right here at the muffler, they all run over the rear end like that. I don't understand why they have, like, everything else that goes under the rear. Man, then it don't look right. You know what I mean? I just don't. But I figure, we haven't done one of these things in a long time. Throw a little bit of something different out, a little different flavor. You know what I mean? Instead of always being either Alaskan Road Truckers or Grand Theft Auto. Nah, we're gonna play this for the moment. It's been a minute. This is more or less what the channel was based upon and built off of when we made it, so. Alright, now we're gonna come over here to this side. The gravel side. We're gonna put the little bushing in the front to hold it. Should have did it on that side too, but we didn't, Like be a little different. I'm gonna put the other little bushing in. Put the leaf spring plate in. Had to have a moment there to think what it was. U-boat. Dang, I could have fixed all these parts. Oh well. Not interested. I want new. New. I mean, this car overall didn't cost me all that much to build. It cost me about 40 grand. Minus body, because I haven't bought none of the body panels yet. Oh no, whatever are we going to do? Alright, that wheel's on. Now what we're going to do is we're going to jump up here to the front. See, just like that. We'll put the cross member in first. And then we're going to put the bigger bushing. You know, we're going to put the bigger bushing in. We got to put all 4 bigger bushings. Put a cross member. And then we're going to get the motor. Well, first off, we're going to put the car down. Then we're going to get the motor. And we're going to put the motor in. It's a lot more beefier than them 205 7015s or 7515s or whatever they are. The reason why I say we're going to put the motor in is that then when we go to bring it to paint, we ain't got to worry about the stuff. Ooh, look at that. Ain't she a nice looking car? Will be when she's done. Because I'm actually going to try to hopefully well, my plan of attack is I'm hoping that they have the factory color, which is like a tanny color, brown tan color, which I know at one point I was able to get it in here, but I don't know if I still can or not. Well, we about to find out, right? Man, we got ourselves dual exhaust. True duals, man. She ain't that Y pipe junk, you know what I mean? And that's the reason why I'm planning on moving the fuel tank in my 91. And I'm planning on putting a fuel cell in, actually. Because I want to run true dual exhaust right down the sides. And for me to do it, it's either I gotta run it outside the frame, or I gotta put it right next to, like, where there's no space, more or less. I don't know how people do it. I gotta do a little bit of research on it. But, or I can run it, right parallel between the drive shaft and the fuel tank, but there's not a whole heck of a lot of room. And the reason why is because I got the oversized fuel tank. I think there's one that's 24 gallons or 28 gallons, another one that's 34 gallons. I have the 34 gallon tank in my 91, so it kind of doesn't really fit all that well, if you catch my drift. So, me or something not adding up here. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know, man. But alright, we're almost done. Yeehaw. Is that sipping me coffee from Tim Hortons? Not a sponsor, although I would have no issues with it being a sponsor, you know what I mean? Tim Hortons coffee, heck yeah. I'd be down for them to get a sponsorship. I drink enough of this stuff. Almost every time I leave the house, I get one. And I leave the house at least twice a day. Go get my daughter from school. See, people make a big deal about kids going to school, right? Oh, they're not getting taught right, they're not getting taught this, they're not getting taught that. Okay, so what's your point? Oh, well, you know, they're getting taught all this negative garbage in school, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, okay, so correct them when they get home. Explain the truth to them. Ooh, that's a tight fit. Ooh, showing a little bit smaller on the front, maybe. Oh, well. She there, man. She right there. And guess what? We can actually put this down. We have everything in there. Dang, it even sits like his car, too. That's priceless. Alright. Okay, that's the... Okay, I gotcha. I didn't know what this one was, because I didn't really look, because there wasn't one in here when I got the car. It was already out. See? So... I didn't know. Now we do. It's the fuse box bay, man. Forget the A, we want... Oh, no, 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 no. No, no, no. That's no bueno. Let's grab 3 of these. Should be good. I only need 1, but, you know, let's grab 3. Maybe the next car will need 2. So I gotta replenish my stock with them. Just gonna double check. Wait, seriously? I can't see. How come I can't see, man? Oh, almost. Look at that. Look how close I was. Maybe 2 more chug chugs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. Nope, not the right one. I probably gotta look for a cap that says all on it, huh? Oh, what do you know? Here's the oil cap. Who would have ever thunk? There we go. Wipe it off. Good to go. Alright, now we're going to work our way around here. We're going to put some blue goo in it for the windshield. Even though I don't use the blue junk, I use Rain-X. The stuff that's good to like 45 below. You know, I live in Canada and it gets pretty chilly up here. And I love it because even when the windshield's cold, if it's hot outside, or if the windshield's cold because it's freezing outside, it'll still take the ice off the windshield. No scraping required. It may take a few sprays and pumps and stuff to make sure your wipers ain't frozen, but it will... Oops, let's clean that up too. It will remove... yeah. It will remove the ice. Bench Cordoba, where are you? There you are. There you are. Alright, let's see. Now, unfortunately, the seat I need is not going to be the white one. In fact, it is going to be that one, or was it? I know it had the headrest on it. We'll put seat 9 leather B, 2 of them. In my dad's car, I think it had the bench in the front seat. No, it had the 60-40 split. That's right. I remember now. I remember! What did I do that for? Man, what's up with this nonsense, man? I ain't got no steering wheel for this car. Why am I jumping the gun here? Oh, well, I may as well put these seats in. Alright, I'm gonna go like here. We gotta go over here. Now, here's the thing. My dad's Marauder also had the tough wheel in it. So, that's why we're gonna put tough wheel in here. It should fit. Maybe not. Ooh, it does too. Ooh. Normally, oh, great, column shift, just like his car. But normally, you get the turn signals and stuff that come through the steering wheel. I'm impressed. I like it. It fits. Starting to be a little bit of flashback memory here. Alright, now we're going to bring it over to the paint shop. First things first, let's hop in it and give it a crank over. See, if I could have got the Cordoba seat button brown, I would have got that. Alright, now we need some body work. The bumper, the door, the window, the fender, the door, the window, the fender, the rear window, rear bumper, left taillight, left mirror, left headlight, left body A window, hood, right body window A, right headlight, right taillight, trunk, and the windscreen. Alright, let's start putting it together. And he didn't have that style mirror on his car either. He had the sport style mirrors. And the molded. I mean, it is Murata, man. It was a sharp looking car, I'll tell you that much. It really was. If I could find another 81 that's in decent shape, I would actually restore it in memory of him, but and his car did have mirrors on both doors, not just one. Must be a 70s thing. Alright, let's put some color on this girl. Ooh, right there. Except for we gotta do a little bit of tweaking to this. Just a bit. Kind of something like so. Turn the brightness down a little bit. We gotta get rid of this clear coat. Because near the end it wasn't really cleared over, we'll say. Kind of more like a flat color. It went chromish. Something like that. Now I wish I could get rid of that vinyl top. Because he didn't have a vinyl top. Something like so. Yeah. Very similar, not quite, but very similar. But that would be it. Let's go give an alignment on the front. Ooh, the alignment's way off. He ended up having to scrap the car because the unibody rotted out on it. So, it's a shame, because the car was still running good when we went to the boneyard. In fact, it was actually driven to the scrapyard. But it just wasn't safe anymore. Alright, to the dyno. Alright, what can we do for a carburetor tuning here? Alright, good enough for me. Good enough for me, good enough for thee. Alright. From the factory, this car is supposed to have 193 horsepower at 4,400 RPM and 279 pound-feet of torque at 2,450 RPM. Let's see how much we've increased. I'm hoping for at least 300. Keyword being hopefully. Sounds rough, or sounds mean, I should say. Maybe it'll hurt some feelings that this car will re-gear the rear and the transmission and stuff, and will bring it to the drag strip and kick everyone's butt. Because in theory, it should not be that high of a bracket, maybe a C or a D. Alright, the new power numbers are 335 horsepower at 4,400 RPM and 469 pound-feet of torque at 2,400 RPM. Huh. That's not bad, that's not bad. I'll swap this over with the Dodge 3500, just so I can look at it in the sunlight. But there she be. Similar to my childhood car, not the exact one, but very similar. 3 years later. So, well, alright everyone, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. You know, it doesn't cost you nothing to subscribe, you know. But anyway, again, thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned for the next one. Have a good day, everyone.